Manchester United are working on a deal for Matheus Cunha, and it could be done in the coming days. We're going to let you know everything you need to know on that, but more so on Manchester United's transfer plans this summer and why the plans are exciting and particularly smart if we can pull them off. It's not just Cunha, but getting a deal done early, focusing on Delap. But after that, we're going to look at sales, we're going to look at midfielders, wingbacks. Who are the other targets? Could we be bringing in a third attacker? Jonathan David being watched, Mbeumo being looked at, Lookman. In today's video, we're going to discuss Manchester United's transfer plans for this summer, let you know everything you need to know, and discuss what Man United's team could actually look like next season. We're also looking at some really good young players. We're potentially about to bring in someone called Enzo Cannabik, a young striker on a free for the academy. Franco Mastantuono is a player whose release clause we might trigger. Ian Subari is another player we're looking at. There's a lot to discuss, so I'm going to tell you everything that we know right now from reliable sources on United's transfer plans, starting with the latest news on Cunha from the very reliable Fabrizio Romano. I do want to mention, if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. Every day from now, throughout the transfer window, there'll be a 10-minute video rounding up all the United news in 10 minutes, but there'll also be a live show where we can discuss the news and interact as well. So there'll be a mixture of live shows and news roundups. Manchester United keep working to seal Matheus Cunha deal very soon. Plan confirmed since 1 week ago. Negotiations underway on final contract details for the Brazilian, who's keen on joining the project, was said by Fabrizio Romano. Basically, what you need to know on Cunha is this week is massive. There's final meetings this week. The verbal agreement is reportedly there, according to Matteo Moretta, between Manchester United and Matheus Cunha. Manchester United will now need to finalise that agreement, go to Wolves, offer to pay the release clause, negotiate the instalments with Wolves, and there's a feeling that this week or next week the deal should be done. Here we go. And then obviously he can't join to the end of the season. Bish bash bosh. United very confident it will be done soon. United do not need sales for Cunha. Manchester United ready to move fast for Matheus Cunha, and this is massive because, you know, the one reason we lost out on Elise is because we waited on sales to see if we could get Elise, and there was so much competition for Elise, he went elsewhere. There's a lot of competition with Cunha, but if you move fast, he won't go elsewhere. I thought this was a really good tweet from Robbo. The fact we are pushing ahead so quickly does fit the narrative and report that we can afford both Cunha and Delap without sales in Champions League, which is huge. They are minimal additions we need to the current squad. Then it becomes replacing outgoing players with younger upgrades, i.e. Branthwaite and Wharton. I'm not sure about Branthwaite, but Wharton most definitely. And obviously the luxury market opportunities like Mastantuono should the club should and will push ahead to make. And basically, United Rob is sort of explaining what United's transfer plan is here. Delap and Cunha in early, focus on the sales. Then when we sell players, we're going to bring in younger, better alternatives. So that could be Wharton in midfield. That could be another young centre-back coming in. That could be potentially a wing-back, you never know. That could be an Onana replacement like Joan Garcia we've been recently linked to. That could be a number 10. That could very much be, you know, we get Cunha, we get Delap, we do the sales, we bring in the Wharton, we bring in the centre-back we want, and Nana goes, we get a goalkeeper. Garnacho goes, we get Mbeumo. Jonathan David links. You know, it's quite exciting. Maybe we go last minute and trigger Mastantuono's release clause, and we've got this exciting young right 10. I think the fact that Man United are moving early, the fact that Manchester United have pretty much prioritised striker and number 10 to get that done early because we need that early, I think is exciting. So, we've actually been linked again today to Jonathan David. Manchester United, Tottenham, West Ham, Chelsea and Liverpool all interested in signing Jonathan David as a free agent, but Marseille are hoping to persuade the player to stay in France. Now, Lille to Marseille, I think he'll probably leave France. I think his dream is Barcelona. I think he is a Barcelona fan, so that is definitely one to watch there. But Manchester United need a striker, and he's available on a free, and he's a very good striker. Now, from what I'm aware, he's a player we like, but he's not like a top 3 option. But I think if Delap goes to Chelsea, I think Jonathan David becomes a serious possibility. I think it is Cunha and Delap, but we know that Cunha's made his mind and he's picked Man United, but we don't know if Delap picked Manchester United. And if Delap picks Chelsea, which is a serious possibility, I do think that then we'll be looking at Jonathan David. Now, I'm annoyed that we're not looking at Jonathan David more already, because I think he's actually, I know Delap's played in the Premier League, but I think Jonathan David is a little bit more proven. I get that they looked at Delap at Sporting when Amorim was there, and I get that Wilcox wanted Delap before he went to United. So there's clearly a lot of interest in Delap at the club. But I look at Jonathan David, and this is what I wrote about him about a month and a half ago, so his numbers are higher than this now. But I feel like he's proved, like, I was skeptical about Jonathan David to begin with. But this year, particularly seeing him in the Champions League and just how his game has improved, he's really grown on me, Jonathan David. So at the time of writing this, I said this. Jonathan David has really grown on me this season, especially with his impressive performances in the Champions League. At 25, he's the perfect age and already has 33 goal contributions this season, on track for 30 goals, and he's available on a free. Which is a big thing because limited budget. Of course, you have to pay a couple million signing on fee, give him crazy wages. Right now, Jonathan David is on 25 goals and 11 assists. So right now he's on 36 goal contributions. So he's very much on track for 30 goals this season. He is 25 years of age, which is prime age, and he's available on a free. He's quick and can run in behind like Amorim would like. He can dribble, he can hold up play, he can link up well. But most importantly, he's got good positional sense. Obi Martin came on and got in better positions than Højlund, something Højlund lacks. He's a mix of technical and physical qualities along with his versatility, which means I think he can suit the Premier League. He could play as a 10 if needed. He can play as a striker. For me, we need someone entering their prime that is scoring goals consistently. Gyökeres might want UCL football. Sesko could be Arsenal bound. And we might struggle with Højlund's age. Akita is a risk, again, because of age. Osimhen, wage demands are high. David could be the guy. He's more proven than Delap. And to be honest, players we've signed from Ligue 1 have generally done better than those from other leagues. Plus, he's free. And it gives us more on the budget. I think that United should be all over this. I don't know if we will be. I think we are focusing on Delap. But even we could get him and Delap. Jonathan David, Delap and Cunha is very good business. Jonathan David, Delap and Mbeumo, very good business. Cunha and Mbeumo, Delap, great. Cunha, Delap, David, great. Cunha, Delap, Mastantuono, great. I think we should go for a third attacker. I think if we sell Garnacho, we will. Delap, Cunha, and one more. This is what I think. And I think United could move for a third attacker. Court Offside actually said that we still have interest in a Doma Lookman as a plan for a major rebuild of the attack in the summer. I think there could be free changes. You've got to think Cunha replaces Rashford. Delap comes in, just the obvious striker signing we need. Anthony and Sancho to go. There's probably room for a third attacker, particularly if Garnacho goes. Now, I would rather keep Garnacho and sell Højlund, if I'm being totally honest. But I think Garnacho is a lot easier to sell. To sell Højlund, we need £40 million to even not make a loss on it. To sell Garnacho for £50 million, we'd make pure profit, and that gives us the funds to go big. So I do think that it's more likely that Garnacho will go. And I think if you sell Garnacho, you could do Delap, Cunha, and Mbeumo. I think if you sell Højlund, you could do Delap, Cunha, and David. For me, Delap and Cunha are the duns. Højlund goes, bringing David. Garnacho goes, bringing Mbeumo. Amma can also go right wing back if need be. What we know on links to these players is that Cunha, Mbeumo, Delap, and David all have been observed by United scouts. United, Tottenham, and Arsenal gathered information on Mbeumo back in January, and Laurie Whitwell said that we have scouted Mbeumo. So it's definitely ones to watch, but it's the feeling of it will be Cunha or Mbeumo, and it looks like it's going to be Cunha. But I mean, if we could get both, that would be incredible. Also, it's not just like a third attacker that could be Mbeumo or David. But we're also looking at young players. United want to trigger Mastantuono's 38 million release clause. United tend to take him as soon as he turns 18 in August. This is one to watch in August. 100% one to watch in August. We'll do our business. At August, we'll know if we've got the funds left to take the punt on a very talented 18-year-old kid that could come in that is seen as the next Cole Palmer. You know how we brought Lenny Yoro in? He's a Lenny Yoro level talent. Lenny Yoro has been very impressive. We're also looking at Dibbling. I think Dibbling's going to get snapped up before then. I like Dibbling, but I think he's going to get snapped up by Tottenham or someone before that. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if we moved for him late. So, what is our new transfer plan? Cunha and Delap early. Cunha now, hopefully Delap next. If we can't get Delap, it'll be interesting to see who we go for. So, Anthony, Sancho, Malacia, Rashford, that's what they want to do. Invest the funds into a centre mid, centre back, potentially a wing back or goalkeeper. Potential sales of Onana can get a goalkeeper. Potential sales of Garnacho can get a third attacker. Højlund, third attacker, Casemiro, etc. And Mbeumo, Mastantuono, Dibbling, and David are potential players. I think it is Cunha, Delap, centre mid, centre back. They're the four that we're going to do. Depending on sales, if Onana goes, it's a goalkeeper. If we have a lot of funds, maybe a wing back or a third attacking signing, which pushes Ahmad back to wing back. We've also got talented players. Harry Amas looking good at left wing back in the little cameos he's got as well. Potentially could save Manchester United a little bit of money. But I will say this. This is what we could look like. If we brought in Stiller, Mbeumo, Delap and Cunha, this is what we look like next season. And Mbeumo arguably probably starts right 10 and Ahmad probably starts right wing back over Delap. Like arguably it would be Ahmad right wing back over Delap and Mbeumo right 10. Like, all I'm saying is, if we sign Mbeumo, Delap, Cunha and Stiller, we've got a very, very good squad. Very, very good squad that I'd be very, very happy with. I would love Wharton, but the price is crazy. I said right now the focus is Cunha and Delap. After that, the priority sign for Man Utd needs to be saying we should be all over Wharton Stiller. We aren't going to be able to afford Wharton. We're not going to be able to afford Wharton, but we should be all over it. Anyway, listen, people, thank you for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts on our transfer plans. See you next time. Bye.